A federal judge has ordered a deposition that Donald Trump has feared the most, or at least among others on that top tier of depositions that Trump did not want to take place. Elon Musk is now going to be deposed in connection to what Doge did and its destruction of government agencies and departments, specifically USAID. And a judge in Maryland named Judge Chung made the ruling. The judge doubted the protections for high-ranking government officials, which is what Elon Musk asserted, because as the judge said, I don't think you're a high-ranking government official, Elon Musk. What was your position? What were you appointed to? What did you do? And even if you were appointed, how else can we gather this information that seems to be uniquely known only to Elon Musk and Donald Trump? That's something called the Apex Doctrine, which I'll talk about in a moment. But here's what the federal judge ruled. Even assuming, consistent with the approach taken by certain other circuits, that depositions of high-ranking government officials should be restricted absent extraordinary circumstances, regardless of whether they seek testimony on mental processes, the court still finds that the protective order is not warranted. At the outset, it is at best unclear whether Musk, Morocco, and Lewin are properly deemed to be high-ranking government officials for purposes of the doctrine. Notably, in cases which courts have barred depositions of cabinet secretaries, depositions of senior, Senate-confirmed sub-cabinet officials have been permitted to proceed. Then it cites various precedent, like this case over here, NRA U.S. Department of Education, barring the deposition of the Secretary of Education in a case in which depositions of two undersecretaries of Education had proceeded, noting that in the NRA Department of Commerce case, the Supreme Court stayed the deposition of the Secretary of Commerce while permitting the depositions of other high-ranking officials, including the Assistant Attorney General. Here, USAID was not a cabinet-level agency. None of the designated officials were the head of that agency, and several were operating in an informal or acting role at the time of the relevant events. I'll read for you a little bit more from this order. It says, in this civil action, plaintiffs are asserting violations of the Appointment Clause of the United States Constitution and the constitutional principle of the separation of powers arising from decisions and actions taken by defendant Elon Musk and others to shut down and dismantle USAID from January 2025 forward. After the court ruled on a motion for a preliminary injunction and a motion to dismiss, the parties commenced discovery. Defendants have now filed a motion for a protective order to preclude the deposition of Musk, who at the time of the relevant events